Hello, this video is going to talk about how to create questions of comparison. Please have a pen or pencil ready and some paper to take notes. The most common question word that we use to make a question of comparison is which. Which school will you go to? Which school has better teachers? Which school is the cheapest? Which school is closest to your house? Which school is better? Normally, we would use which when we already know some of the options. So you are thinking about one or two or three different schools, and we're asking you about those schools. Which of those schools will you go to? First, let's talk about how to create these types of questions. We start with a regular English sentence. We are going in a car. We have two cars, the red one or the blue one. To make this a yes or no question, we would simply switch the auxiliary verb are and our subject we. Are we going in a car? But to create a question of comparison, we would add which and we would move the noun to the front. Which car are we going in? So you can see here that car has moved from the end of the yes or no question to directly after which in our question of comparison. And the answer could be, we are going in the blue one, or the blue one. Let's look at another example. We should go to a restaurant is our regular English sentence. To create a yes or no question, we will simply switch the modal should and the subject we. Should we go to a restaurant? Yes, we should. To make this a question of comparison, we will simply add which and switch restaurants from the end to directly after which. Which restaurant should we go to? And the answer could be, we should go to Thai Basil or Thai Basil. Now let's look at using this with comparatives or superlatives. First, let's look at using comparatives. Here are some very common questions that you might hear. Which do you prefer? Blank or blank? We can use this to talk about almost anything. Classes, teachers, restaurants, hobbies, anything that you could talk about, you can ask this type of question. The answer to this would be, I prefer blank. Which do you like better? Blank or blank? This is another common question. I like blank better. Or we can also use which noun is and use a comparative. So for example, which car is faster? And our answers could be the noun is and then our comparative. The Corvette is faster, or the blue one is faster. Now let's look at how we use these types of questions with superlatives. Some very common questions are, which noun is the, and use a superlative form of an adjective or an adverb. For example, which class is the hardest? The answer, blank is the hardest class. So English is the hardest class. Here you can see hard, we've changed to the superlative form, est. And remember, we must use the when we are talking about a superlative. So we have this in our question and in our answer. We can also answer this, instead of saying English is the hardest class, we could say English is the hardest. And we can drop class because we know what we're talking about. We can also shorten this even more and just say English. I hope that this has helped you learn how to make some common questions for comparison using comparatives or superlatives. Please let me know if you have more questions.